Justice is a French electronic music duo consisting of Gaspard Michel Andre Augé copyright and Xavier de Rosnay. The duo is one of the most successful groups on Ed Banger Records and is managed by the label's head, Pedro Winter. Justice is known for incorporating a strong rock and indie influence into its music and image. The band's debut album A Euro was released in June 2007 to critical acclaim. The album was later nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Electronic Dance Album and came in at number 15 on Pitchfork's Top 50 Albums of 2007 and number 18 on Blender's 25 Best Albums of 2007 list. It was nominated for the 2007 Shortlist Prize, losing out to The Reminder by Feist. The band's remix of the management's song Electric Feel won the Grammy Award for Best Remixed Recording, Non-Classical in 2009. In September 2009, it was announced that Justice would be moving to WMG Atlantic's newly relaunched Elektra Records label. The band reportedly started to work on its second album in mid-2010. The first single entitled Civilization was released on March 28, 2011. The band released its second album, Audio, Video, Disco, on October 24, 2011. Their newest release came out on May 7, 2013, a live album titled Access All Arenas. History. Early works, remixes and being signed to Ed Banger, Justice first produced tracks together for Muscular Vision's Hits Up to You, a concept compilation where tracks were designed to sound like they were meant for the Eurovision Song Contest. The compilation included 2 of their songs, and a track by Augé copyright S alter ego Micro Louisa. Justice first came to prominence through its 2003 remix of Simeon's track Never Be Alone, created for a Paris college radio station's remix contest. The remix resulted in the group being signed to Ed Banger and became a hit in clubs and on the internet. The song was re-released in 2004 on DJ Hell's international DJ Gigolo Records and eventually given a commercial release in the UK in the summer of 2006 under the title We Are Your Friends on 10 Records, a sub-label of Virgin Records. After the original release of We Are Your Friends, Justice worked on remixes for a number of French groups as well as for larger mainstream acts such as Britney Spears, N.E.A.D., Fatboy Slim, and Daft Punk. Justice's first solo single, Waters of Nazareth, was released on Ed Banger Records in September 2005 and was championed by DJs such as Errol Alkan, Eddie Temple Morris, Tiga, Too Many DJs, and Ivan Smaggy. The track was re-released in 2006 with additional remixes. The duo's prolific remix work continued, as it turned in mixes for Franz Ferdinand, Mr. Ejets, Salwax, and Mr. Oizo. Justice won the award for Best Video at the MTV Europe Music Awards 2006 for Justice vs. Simeon A Euro We Are Your Friends. Augé copyright and de Rosnay were not present at the ceremony, and the award was accepted by label art director So-Mi, and video director Ja copyright My Rosanne. A Euro, and Rise to Fame, Justice's debut album, titled A Euro, was released on Ed Banger Records on June 11, 2007. The album was released in the United States on Downtown Ed Banger. The album was preceded by the Dance EP, released on May 28, 2007, which featured the tracks Phantom, and the band's own remix of Dance, titled BEAT. Dance was nominated for Video of the Year at the 2007 MTV Video Music Awards. On November 1, Justice received the Video Star Award at the European Music Awards in Munich and was named the Best French Act of the Year. Justice was chosen to do a mix for the Fabric Live series in 2008, but Fabric rejected it. De Rosnay said that, "Hey, weren't ready for something like this." Now titled Justice Xmas Mix, the mix is available on the internet. Justice appeared as a live PA at the 2007 Park Life and festivals around Australia, the 2008 Coachella Festival, the 2007 and 2008 Czar Cubed Now Festival in Barcelona, Fuji Rock Festival in Niigata, Japan, the Hultsfred Festival in Hultsfred, Sweden, the Oxygen Festival in Kildare, Ireland, the Tea in the Park Festival in Kinross, Scotland, the Reading and Leeds Festivals in England, the Vials Charus Festival in Caix, France. The Roskilde Festival in Roskilde, Denmark. Pukkelpop in Belgium, at the I Love Techno Festival in Ghent, Belgium. Doubs Festival in Belgium. Rock Werchter in Belgium. The Lowlands Festival and the Pinkpop Festival in the Netherlands. At Tenants Vital in the Radio 1 tent in Belfast. At the Phoenix Park Marquee in Dublin. And at the festival in Internacional de Benicassim in Spain. Justice was nominated for Best Dance Recording and Best Electronic Dance Album at the 50th Grammy Awards. Justice uploaded its music video for Stress to YouTube on May 1, 2008, having had several TV stations boycott the video. The clip features a group of youths committing acts of vandalism and harassment, wearing jackets bearing the Justice Cross on the back. Accused in some quarters of racism for its stereotypical depiction of youths of African descent from Paris' socially deprived banlieues, others saw the video as a critique of their portrayal in the French media. Speaking in an interview with the Quietus website, Augé Copyright said, "We were expecting some fuss obviously, but definitely not on those topics. If people see racism in the video, it's definitely because they might have a problem with racism. Because they only see black people beating up white people, which is not what happens." De Rosnay said, 80% of France is Christian. In an interview for Dummy in 2005, Justice said that it wanted a strong concept for each record it put out, and with this one, the duo wanted to keep people guessing. On June 1, 2008, The Sun announced that Justice was chosen by Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers to produce the band's follow-up to Stadium Arcadium, but this was quickly corrected by Ed Banger manager Pedro Winter, as Anthony Kiedis had only stated he was a fan of Justice, not preparing for a collaboration. In July 2008, Justice was revealed to have done a mix for the Dior Homme Summer 2009 fashion show, much like Daft Punk did for Louis Vuitton in 2007. The track, now known as Planisphere, was released in 4 parts on the band's MySpace page, with an extra final cut that did not make it into the fashion show mix. On August 25, 2008, the band announced via MySpace that its next major release would be a DVD documentary concert film titled Across the Universe. The announcement was also tied in with an invitation for fans to email photos, images, and artwork to an address so that the received photos could be compiled for use as artwork for the release. An iconic scene in Across the Universe happens in Las Vegas where, as a homage to AXL Rose, Gaspard marries a groupie whom he had met 3 hours previously. During a DJ tour for the release of Across the Universe in November 2008, controversy arose when a photograph of Augé copyrighting with an unplugged acclaim MPD-24 surfaced. The photograph sparked accusations that Justice's live sets were faked. Augé Copyright has since said that the equipment was unplugged very briefly before being reattached, and the band put a 3-photo set of the incident on their MySpace page. Justice played 2009 New Year's Eve in Chicago at the Congress Theater to a crowd of well over 4,000. Augé Copyright was seen later that night at an after-party thrown in honor of the band featuring various local DJs, artists, and photographers. In January 2009, French group Birdie Nam Nam released its album Manual for Successful Writing, for which Justice produced the last song on the album, The Parachute Ending. The band's remix of Management's Electric Feel won a Grammy Award for Best Remixed Recording, Non-Classical in 2009. In the November 2009 issue of Mixmag, Justice stated that it would be working on the soundtrack for Mr. Oizou's upcoming film, Rubber, saying they had to finish working on the soundtrack for Mr. Oizou's new film before we start recording for the new album. In April 2009, the music website Stereogum hosted a remix by the duo of U2's song Get On Your Boots, the lead single from the band's most recent album No Line on the Horizon. Their remix of Lenny Kravitz's song Let Love Rule was also featured on Kanye West's blog. Also in April 2009 at the Coachella Valley Music Festival, Augé Copyright was seen at the Dome with Busy P, DJ Medi, and Daft Punk. He played at the 2009 Voodoo Experience in New Orleans, as well as at the Heart Haunted Mansion in LA over the Halloween weekend. Audio, Video, Disco Era. On March 14, 2011, The duo announced via its Facebook page plans to release a new single entitled Civilization on April 4. It will be released on Ed Banger Because Records and will be the first single off of its currently untitled Sophomore LP. The song has also been featured as the soundtrack to a new Adidas campaign spearheaded by French director Romain Gavras, with whom Justice has worked in the past. On March 28, 2011, the Justice single, Civilization, was released as a one-week iTunes exclusive, in full, as a premiere for the release of the single on April 4. On May 27, the duo released the official music video for the single on YouTube. The video relies heavily on CGI and illustrates a world in which famous monuments are destroyed as gravity appears to be reversed. The storyline is of a herd of bison running from the falling ruins. In August 2011, the band announced that its sophomore record, Audio, Video, Disco, would be released October 24, 2011. In an interview with French magazine Tsuji, the duo disclosed the 11-song tracklist of the album, and described it as a progressive rock record, played by guys that don't know how to play. Label owner and manager Busy P has played unreleased material from the album in recent shows. On September 6, 2011, a music video for the single Audio Video Disco was released by the duo via their Facebook page. The video features Xavier and Gaspard in a studio setting, and details the lengthy, rock-and-roll style recording process that was experienced in making the single and album. Within the clip, various instruments are seen, such as an electric guitar, a piano, and a drum kit, standing as the quite literal symbols for the Justice progression into a more rocky, less electronic sound. Several songs from this album have been used in the second series of the Channel 4 comedy Cardinal Burns. In March 2012, the band played mainstage at Ultra Music Festival in Miami, Florida. The duo played many of its hits from its critically acclaimed debut album A Euro, as well as many of the new tracks off of Audio, Video, Disco. In April 2012, Justice was also a headlining act at Coachella Valley Music Festival in Indio, California. Justice headlined at Montreal's Osheaga on August 3, 2012 and Chicago's Lollapalooza on Sunday 5 August. Justice also played at San Francisco's Outside Lands Music Festival on Friday 10 August. In October 2012, the band played at Voodoo Experience in New Orleans, Louisiana. Justice completed its world tour of the live show on November 10, 2012 playing at one festival in Mexico City, Mexico. On May 7, 2013, the band released its second live album, Access All Arenas, which was recorded at the Arena of now registered trademark Metz in France on July 19, 2012. Third studio album, on June 22, 2014, the band announced that they have started working on a third album. Musical style and equipment: apart from the disco and funk influences of electro house, Justice's style has some heavy metal influence. Justice combines cut-up or slapped bass lines with compressed and distorted synth sounds. On each side of Valentine are 9 stacked Marshall cabinet fronts, adding up to a total of 18. The cabinet stacks are another non-functional prop that serve as stage dressing. Their DJ setup previously included 2 Pioneer CDJ 1000 MK3S and a Pioneer DJ M800, but since the Across the Universe release tour, Justice have been using Ableton Live controlled by an aka IMPD-24 and a Pioneer DJ M800 for their DJ sets. Discography: studio albums, A Euro, Audio, Video, Disco, live albums, Across the Universe, Access All Arenas, EPs, Waters of Nazareth EP, DANCE. Remixes EP, Phantom EP, DVNO EP, Planisphere EP, Civilization EP, Audio, Video, Disco EP, Unknown Canon EP, New Lands EP, Helix EP, Filmography, Across the Universe, Awards and nominations received by Justice, references. External links: Justice on MySpace, Justice at AllMusic, Justice on Facebook, Justice Discography at Discogs, Justice Discography at Music Brains, Backstage and Live Justice Photography, Justice at London Astoria, Justice Video Interview, Justice at Brixton Academy, NME Awards.